Hello, hello, hello. How you guys doing? Can everybody hear me? You can see me, hear me, let me know, and then we'll get started. There's a little bit of a delay, so as soon as I know that I'm good, and if there's no echo, we'll go ahead and get started. Let me skip my ad over here, though. There we go. Okay, can you guys hear me? Hey, Nikki. Okay, you hear me. Awesome. Thanks, Bobby. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. If you're new here, I'm Marilyn. My channel is Making with Marilyn. I do sewing, I do embroidery, I do lasers, I do HTV, I do DTF. Maybe that's about it. I do quite a bit of different things, but I enjoy everything that I'm doing. So welcome in. Vanetta said can't be here tonight, but she'll be watching the replay. Well, Vanetta, when you're watching it, hello there. Hey, Merlinda and Dance. Hey, D. Smith. Hey, Unbiased. We're going to say hi for just a few minutes and we'll get started. Hey, Beverly. So if you're watching the replay and you're new here, lives are a time for just interacting and fun. Maybe a tiny bit of learning once in a while. Usually learning by me more than you. So if you're in here and you're interested in seeing more of a direct tutorial on things, check out my YouTube channel, the pre-recorded videos. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Rosalind and Jennifer. Hey, Shamika. Did I go right over somebody? Nope, nope, nope. Hey, Nicole, welcome. Oh, thank you. Yes, please hit that like button. Hey, Faye. Hey, Quilt Wench, welcome back from North Cali. Hey, Retired Crafter 22. All right, Shay Shay is at basketball, but in the bushes. Thanks, Shay Shay. Shay Shay'd be giving me a hard time tonight. Hey, DB, because there's no pink. None tonight. None. Hey, Alice. And Cheryl, welcome. All right. Hey, Angie. I'm going to go ahead and start scrolling. Hey, Jess. Popping in for a quick hi. You're at a soccer game. Will you have fun? And Bobby, thanks also for letting me know you can hear me. Hey, Keisha. Hey, Angel B. And Nikki. I think I said hi to you already. Hello again. Hey, Doris. And Mary Brown. All right. Rosalind, hello. Hey, Kristen. Hey, Annette. Welcome. And Marlene, Jennifer. All right. Our Lovelanders, Connie. I really am scrolling. Hopefully I don't miss anyone. Hey, Faye. And Jennifer. And Whitney. Okay, I think I'm at the bottom. Hey, Iris, welcome. And thanks for being here. Iris says, hello all. This is just a very friendly community. Hey, Sharon. And no drama other than when we're just playing and having fun. No real drama. So anyway, we're going to do two things tonight. And originally, I thought I would start my mug rug stitching out. And then I would work on the sewing project. But when I do something on the embroidery machine during a live, I get annoyed with the sound of it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into the sewing project and then, you know, feel free to leave if you want to stick around for the mug rug, then that's great too. But here is what the deal is. Hey, Geneva. Hey, 41 Vixen, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Yes, I'm so glad you caught a live. Unbiased. You know, no drama here. No drama. Okay, so I make mug rugs. And if you're not sure what a mug rug is, it's just a fabric coaster. And this is one I did, I don't know how many months ago. And it was not 4x4 friendly. It's a little too big for 4x4. I made this one. I made a larger one. I've made several. But this design wasn't 4x4 friendly. And I know there's a lot of people that have machines that are 4x4s. And so then I did the little 4x4 friendly jack-o'-lantern. Nothing fancy about it. It's just cute. And tonight I'm going to stitch out this in a 4x4 friendly format. That's going to be at the end, because that sound when I'm on live is annoying. What we're going to start with are a fabric basket. So I was watching a video of Eve and Patrice and I couldn't believe it was 8 months ago. Hey, Nicole. 8 months ago. So I don't know if Kelly's in here yet. Kelly made a basket. Shay made more than one basket, I think. I think Stacy ended up making a basket. I'm not sure who all made a basket, but several people made a basket. And the first one that I made, and there's thread down in there because that's what I like these for. The first one that I made started out as a 10 by 10, well, 4 10 by 10 pieces of fabric. 2 for the outside, 2 for the lining. Now, let me get this thread out here. They are reversible. And so even though it started out like that, Cheryl made one. Kristen, you made a teeny tiny one, as I recall. Starting out with some like 2-inch by 2-inch piece. Hey, Shantae, welcome. Hey, Deborah. Deborah, hope you're doing okay. Hey, NJ. Okay, so they are totally reversible, which is really cool. Because if you're like, oh, which do I want on the outside? Which do I want on the inside? It doesn't matter, because you'll be able to have it either way when you're done. So there's the other way. So this started out as a 10 by 10 or several 10 by 10 pieces of fabric. Then I went on to start out with a 6.5 by 6.5 inch piece of fabric. And as I was watching it, Geneva made 4 of them. Rosalind made one. Oh, who said they made several? It was a great project. Beverly made several. DB made 5. There's, okay, who was that said I made one? That was back to Cheryl. They are, yes. So Kristen made a teeny tiny one from the corners that were cut out of this. And I'll show you what I mean in a little bit. So that was probably 2.5 inches. Because I think out of the 10 by 10, you cut out 2.5 inches. Out of my 6.5 by 6.5, I cut out 1.25 inches, as I believe. But look at the difference in those sizes. This one's a little floppy. So we're doing a little bit different tonight. This one is not floppy at all because this fabric is really thick and stiff. Hey, Carla. Welcome. Hey, Robin. Let's see. Shay says, my basket is most used item in her craft room. Very nice. It's useful. Hey, Lena Doyle. I'm going to stipple tonight, Lena. Doing some stippling. Rosalind says she needs to make a bigger one. Hey, Addie, welcome. Robin made one. Hey, T. Smith. Hey, Diane. Okay, so I decided this one's a little small for what I want, which is to stick excess thread down. Because I have this, and I have a sewing machine, and I have an embroidery machine, and I need something to put my thread in. Because, you know, you're always cutting off thread. Like when you rethread a single needle, you cut it at the top, you pull your thread out, and then what do you do with it? You walk over to the trash? No. How many of us actually walk to the trash? So these are the mini trash cans for our scrap thread. Okay, so if you saw the thumbnail, okay, so tonight I'm starting out with 8 by 8. So it's going to be somewhere in between these two. But I really sturdied it up, and we'll talk about it in a minute. Hey, Tracy. Hey, Jill. Okay, so if you saw my thumbnail, look at this beautiful fabric. This came from Wally World, and it's prettier when you see the details. That's really pretty. It's just a kind of sweet fabric, and you know, I don't usually like yellow all that much, but I love this. It came as a 1 yard piece of fabric on one of these cards at Walmart. Now this says FC MEDITERRN, so probably Mediterranean lemons. So what this says, let's just throw this back here. And I've already cut my pieces out, and I have the interfacing on them. Because that's usually what takes so long, is cutting and putting your interfacing on. Thanks, Eve. Okay, wait, what did Patrice say? I didn't even see her come in. I took myself to dinner because I had to buy a new laptop. I needed a Virgin Mojito. You have fun at dinner. Have a great time. Post pictures of your food. I always love to look at your food. It's always way better than what I get. Hey, Rosetta. So, hey, Ron. I was talking about, I watched a video from 8 months ago. And Eve and Patrice and I made the baskets. I couldn't believe it was that long ago. That was such a fun life. Okay, so here's what I started with. I started with a piece of fabric that was 8 inches by 8 inches. So there used to be fabric here. Then I cut out 2 by 2 and 2 by 2. So 2 squares that were 2 inches each. Now, if you're using non-directional fabric, it doesn't matter where you cut them out. I knew I forgot something. If you're using fabric with a direction, hold on, hold the phone. Do I have fabric that goes a certain direction? Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, I do. Okay, hold on. No, that goes in all different directions. Okay, I don't think I have a single piece of fabric that's directional. I thought maybe my bestie's quilt was, but it goes in different directions. So if your fabric has to be a certain way, if the fabric's like this, and this has to be the top, and this has to be the bottom, you're going to take your little squares, your little cutouts out the bottom. So if this was a directional fabric, this would have to be the top, this would have to be the bottom. If you're using non-directional fabric, it doesn't matter which side they come out. You just cut them out. So these started out as 8 inches by 8 inches. Then I cut 2-inch squares out of the 2 bottom corners, and I have 2 pieces of that. And I do have information about this in the video description, what you start out with. Jay Mama, thank you. Thank you. That is so sweet of you. I appreciate it. Thanks, Dee. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is one of our fabrics, and this one, I'm gonna intend to make this one like this, where the more solid piece is on the outside. Jay Mama, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You're being here, everyone's being here. I feel truly blessed and supported and all that, and then you go that step beyond, and I appreciate it. Okay, so this is going to be my lining fabric, but again, if I decide later, oh, I wish I would have put that on the outside, I just flip it right side out, and it's perfectly fine because it's reversible. Now this is my other fabric, and I struggled to choose what I wanted for my other fabric. I mean, that's cute. I went between cute and classy, and cute won out. I'm going to make another one, not tonight, but I'm going to make another one. And look at this combination. Because a lot of the lines in this are black lines, and so I thought black with it would be gorgeous. But we're going cute tonight. So let me tell you what I used on the backs. On the backs of one of the fabrics, I used a thin interfacing. And I put it in the video description. It's just a thin interfacing. It was a fusible interfacing that I put on with my heat press, but an iron would be fine. You love the blue. I love the blue too. Lost track of time. Hello, I'm cutting material. Cool. Are you making another basket, Stacy? So I cut down my fabric first, and then I had a slightly larger piece of the fusible interfacing. I ironed it on, and then I trimmed around the fabric. That's just how I like to do it. With this piece, and I have the stuff I put on it, I used a fusible fleece. The fusible fleece is a fluffier, slightly thicker fusible interfacing. So I guess I would consider them both fusible interfacings, but one's just a thin and one is this thicker. And Eve used this, I think, when we made our baskets the last time, 8 whole months ago. I can't believe it. Now I'm also going to use some of this on my mug rug. So my mug rug is also this, and the threads that you saw on the thumbnail, if you saw the thumbnail, those were for the mug rug. And I have my fusible fleece already on the back of it. Okay, because I think this sewing project is going to be super fast since everything is cut. Hey, Donzel. Hey, Craft Therapy with Nicole. Did you add with Nicole recently? I don't remember that. Okay, Marlene, did I say hi to you? Craft Extra Firm, do you think that would work? My guess is it would. That might be more like, oh, unbiased, you probably know what I'm talking about. The interfacing that's pretty firm, but not super thick. I don't remember what it's called. There's a Pellon one. Pellon? Is that the right name? I think maybe sometimes people that make bags use it with their fabric. Where do you get the fusible? Huh, it just went. Addie asks, where'd you get the fusible fleece from? Is it stiffer? The fusible fleece, it adds more stiffness to it. It's not real thick. SF 101. Thank you. That's what I was. Yep. Shape Flex 101. There's Dimps. Hey, Dimps. Okay, you did recently add your name. I like that, Nicole. But the fusible fleece is definitely adding more structure than the fusible interfacing, where they're both fusible interfacings. Regular fusible interfacing, that's pretty thin. Fusible fleece interfacing. And I have both of them linked in the video description if you're interested. And this is my first time to use one piece of one and one piece of the other. I almost used 2 pieces of this on the same area, but I was afraid it might be too much, too thick. So I don't know. Let's see. Hey, Wanda from West Tennessee. Welcome. Okay, so here's my old baskets. Let's go ahead and move those out of the way. Now, I would like your opinion on something. In my machine, let me move some of this out of the way. Stuff that I was using, and the hoop that I'm going to use when I do my mug rug. We don't need this. We don't need this right now. I do need my machine. I need my iron. You know, I need my iron. Hey, Karen. Because I'm an ironing queen. Hey, Ann. Thank you. I'm sure there's a lot of ironing queens in here. I have to iron. I have to iron. Okay, I just hear Sharon Davenport saying it looks more professional when you iron. Always iron. It's like, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so here's my old, heavy Singer sewing machine. And probably when it's ready, time to sew, I'll move it here and you can just kind of see it. I'll move my camera a little bit and you can see it from here. Rather than trying to do what I usually do, which is I have a terrible angle on it. But I'm going to show you up here everything I'm going to do before I do it. Okay, here's your choices. Because I can't decide whether I want the thread to blend in or stand out. So on my machine, I have, it's almost white, but it's cream. But you know, when there's only one little strand of thread behind it, it looks white enough. So that is one option. It kind of blends in. Or, hey Chris, see the new industrial, not yet Chris. I used it though. I used it. I'm working at getting it dialed in just exactly the way I want it on the tension. I'm pretty close. I sewed through 4 layers of genuine leather last night. And it looked really good. Okay, so do I want the stitches? The only stitches that you're going to see are on the flap over. So eventually I'll top stitch along the liner. In my case, the liner is going to be this. So eventually I'll top stitch on the liner. That's the only stitches that you'll see. Do I want them to blend in with the off-white? Do I want them to stand out a little bit? They would stand out like that. It's still not standing out. Watch, you can see it. So blend in, stand out. So Kristen, I knew you were going to say stand out. So we have stand out. What did Demp say? Dems, I gotta come up with an iron emergency emoji. Okay, stand out, stand out. Hey Patricia. Are those pink magnetic bobbins in the corner? This is my clips. They're pink clips. Hey Marlene. Want to be able to make the shirt you have on, or do you have to? Okay, so this template is of craftable things. And so if Demps or Eve want to try to find this template, this is one of my all-time favorites. And I feel like I'm crooked. And it's just one of my all-time favorites. It's simple, but it is on point. So anyway, it is made by Patrice at Craftable Things, the template, and somebody will probably link it. Hey, Cynthia. Hey, Marlise. Is that, yes, so this turquoise is your second choice. So blend in with off-white, stand out. And I have 2 standouts. I have 1 blend. I see a blend, 3 standouts, 4 standouts, 5 standouts, 6 standouts. I'm going to count this as a standout. Stand out, stand out. Likes the contrast. Hi, Sandra. Welcome. Stand out, blend, stand out, stand out, stand out, stand out, stand out, stand out. Addie, that's funny. She said when she looked at it on Amazon, it says she purchased it already. Stand out. Okay, we're gonna do this one standing out. Now, when I do my one with the black material, it's a little more classy looking to me. I'll blend. I think I'll blend on it. Hey, Greg. I love the fabric too, Elba. Elba, hope your husband's doing okay. Stand out one. I would agree. We're going to stand out. Okay, awesome. So I think this, yes, Serial Crafter Digital Rhinestone Template. I don't remember if it comes in both SS6 and SS10 size. This one is SS10 size because that's what I chose to invest my money was SS10s. And so I do pretty much all SS10s. Hey, Lucille. Okay. Now, these are going to be sewn together like this. So we're going to put the pretty sides together, and we are going to sew on this side, and along the bottom. And of course, I have to change my thread. Then we're going to do the same thing with this one. We're going to sew along this side, and the bottom. And I know I've talked about this lately. I cut these out with my laser. Now, I did not cut the interfacing out with my laser because I don't know if it's safe to, because I don't really know what all's in that adhesive, and I don't want to put something that would be toxic in there. But the fabrics I cut out with my laser, so they should match up perfectly because they were all four cut from the same file. Okay, so with the embroidery machine, with the sewing machine, I learned you cut up here and you pull your thread out because you don't want to pull it back through the tension discs. And you guys taught me that. You guys, when I was in lives, taught me to do that, whether it's a sewing machine, embroidery machine. I wasn't kidding earlier when I said maybe learn a little, and it's usually me that's doing the learning. Okay. Oh, good. Okay, Marlene. Still in the hospital, but working on pain management. Okay. Jill, for my fabric, I use a CO2 laser, and it is the X-Tool P2. Now, you could, I'm sure, probably do it on a diode laser. You'd have to do it. It would do it more slowly, and so my guess is you'd get more singeing. But if it's in the seam allowance, I guess that's okay. I'll show you this in a minute. It's amazing how cleanly it cuts it. The X-Tool, so I have the P2, which they don't even sell the P2 anymore. They sell the P2S. Hey, Dimitri, welcome. Scan and cut would cut that. Yes, Cindy. I started playing with the laser after I was watching all the scan and cut stuff. I was like, okay, wait, I gotta make sure I put that in right because I wasn't paying attention. Because I was like, I think I can do most of what I want to do with my laser without having to spend more money. And so I've been cutting and cutting and cutting fabric with my laser. Let me show you how cleanly. You're not going to see any, wrong light. You're just not going to see any scorching. The tiny, tiny little bit of anything that you see from time to time, not all the time, is on the back. Well, and I've already put this on the back. But I didn't see any on the back of this. I saw it on the back of my off-white fabric that I'm using for that quilt. Hey, Terry. Hey, Kelly. Kelly, didn't you make 2 of these baskets before while we were live? You beat Eve, Patrice, and I, and had them like done and posted by the time I was done with probably 1. Porgy Town, did I say hi to you? If not, hello. Yes, this is going to go together like that, Kristen. Very much. Very, very exactly. Pretty much. Just different size. And I wanted to do another one. I needed to do another one. And, you know, a lot of people weren't here last time. So, and a lot of you were and did them. Maybe you'll do another one. And a lot of you were here and didn't do them. And maybe now you'll go, oh, that is easy. I'll do it. It's a super easy beginner-friendly project. Honestly, the only thing I don't like about these projects is cutting. But if you're going to sew, you're going to have to cut. And I love to sew now. Hey, Sharon Jordan. Can you guys hear Tim? Wah, wah, wah. Tim, if you're watching, you know I love you. He's making some new recipe. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Ethel. You're a beginner. Oh, good. Ron says I'm a beginner, but I think I'm going to try this. Excellent. And the inside is the music notes fabric. That's funny. Yeah. I thought that turned out great. I love it. All right, so Main things to remember. We started with two 8-inch by 8-inch pieces of fabric. We cut two 2-inch squares out of the bottom corners. On my fabric, it's not directional, so it didn't matter where it got cut out of. I'm going to cut along, no, I'm not going to cut. I'm going to sew along both sides and the bottom. I'm not sewing at the top, and I'm not sewing in those little squares. I'm going to use a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I think. I think a 1/4 inch is big enough. Yeah, 1/4 inch will be fine. Fine, fine, fine. I have a ton of thread trailing behind me, or behind the machine. Not trailing behind me, trailing behind the machine. So, yeah, one of our little thread baskets, we'll put it in it. Oh, Lisa. Aren't they cute? The pink clips. Okay, yeah, Kristen, you'll be fine. Hey, 755. Mylene said I made two. Whoops, it jumped. Two, one for my sister and daughter. Did like Shay Shay, embroidered their names on it. Ah. Let's see. I'm also a beginner. Haven't even taken my embroidery part off my machine to start sewing yet. Just gathering all the info that you can first. So what kind of sewing embroidery combo machine do you have? Hey, Melody. Hey, Creative Kim. Okay, so I'm going to sew this down. Where's my foot? There it is. Turn the light on. Turn the machine on. Try to get this situated. Let's see. Okay, you can see that. Now, I can't see the chat anymore. Let me grab my phone so I can watch it kind of. SE2000. Awesome. You embroidered on your basket too well, but you guys are extra. You're extra. You're like Patrice. No, extra. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do a little back stitch. Now, for anyone new here, I sew very slowly. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Brandy. And Tammy, could you do this with an embroidery machine? Some of it you could. You could like in the hoop, you could program it to do a lot of it, but not the final. No, you'd have to take it off and do the corner. I don't think so. I mean, you could do these first stitches on the embroidery machine, so you program it. You don't have to worry about it. But you can't do the whole project on the machine, on the embroidery machine. Okay, so I'm not even going to cut my thread. I'm just going to pull it out. And I like to hold the fabric and the thread, so as I pull it, it doesn't try to pull on my stitches. And then I'm just going to put it right back down here on the bottom piece. And get my thread under it. Come on. Look how fast I'm getting. Speedy Gonzalez. I know I'm not very fast, but I gotta pretend like I am. I'm getting faster. Getting faster. I think I was threatening last week or the week before I was going to call the sewing popo on me because I was passing the speed limit. Okay, do not bunch my fabric up. There we go. Okay, so there's one of them. Yeah, I am getting faster, Bobby, aren't I? Thanks, Jennifer. Okay, I'm going to do the exact same thing on this one. Go down both sides and along the bottom. And I'll just, like that one, I'll just do one continuous stitch around and then I'll cut them apart when I'm done. Okay, Iris. So it is just an 8-inch square piece of fabric with two 2-inch squares cut out of the bottom sides. So it's, I mean, I uploaded it into my laser as a pattern that I just made. But it's literally, it was a 8-inch square piece of fabric. Let me do it this way. 8-inch square piece of fabric, and then a 2-inch square cut out here and a 2-inch square cut out there, and that's it. So I didn't really go by a pattern. I made a cut file for my laser, but I don't really have a pattern. Now this is the one that has the fusible fleece on the back. And once you've made one or two of these, they become really, really, oh, thank you, Jennifer, for letting her know that. Thank you. Yes, I did put the general information in the description. Now, in the description, I didn't talk about, I didn't put detailed instructions since I'm doing them on live. So I didn't write down there that you take the 2-inch square out, but you take the 2-inch squares out. Okay, one more side to go. You guys are going to be amazed at how fast this goes also. Last time, it probably took me an hour just to get to this point because I hadn't pre-cut my fabric or my interfacing or anything before the live started. I didn't realize how long it would take me to cut all that stuff. Okay. Now this next part is where we're going to box out those corners. So let me go ahead and move this aside, get this trimmed up, and then I'll talk about what that means. Are you butting your fabric up? I didn't, Kristen. I know I should have. Iris, I hope you do give it a try. You know what? I didn't put a link to my Facebook group in the video description. I'm just not into social media so much. I should do better. Oh, put it in my little basket. I should do better. But for anybody that tries these or makes more of these, I'd love for you to post your creation. And so, Iris, I don't know if you were here when I was talking to begin with. This smaller one, it started out at 6.5-inch square, and I took out of the 2 bottom corners, I took 1.25 inch square out. This one started out as 10 by 10 squares, and I took out of the bottom corners 2.5-inch squares out. So this starts with 10-inch material. It's not sturdy enough. I should have put more interfacing in it. This started out at 6.5 inches. The larger you make your cutouts in the corners, the more spread out and shorter your basket is. The littler you make your cutouts in the corners, the taller and more slender it is. Thanks, Eve. The seam allowance I'm using is 1/4 inch. Last time I made these, I went with 3/8 of an inch. Now there's a point where you cannot do such a small seam allowance, and when I get there, I'll tell you what that is. I mean, you can, but it's probably going to be more successful when you're doing the seam around the top if you do a larger seam allowance, because you are going to end up putting it right side out and then top stitching on it, and you have to leave a little hole in it. So to get that hole stitched together, I'm going to use a little bit larger, I about said inseam again. I used to always say inseam. I'll use a little larger seam allowance at that time. Hey, Laura. Cutting and fusing interfacing takes so long. It does. Okay. So here is what we have. I think Shay Shay might use one of her baskets for her clips. Hey, Pretty Eyes Covington. Welcome. Okay, so now here's what we have. We have what's going to be my liner, but remember, they're reversible. So if I decide I want this to be the outside, I can. On the liner, I have a lightweight fusible interfacing. This is going to be the main body of the fabric, main body of the basket. On this, I have the fusible fleece, which is also a fusible interfacing, but it's a thicker, soft. When I say soft, fuzzy. Not soft, just fuzzy. And I have both of them linked in the description below. Okay, so now it is time to box out our corners. To do that, first I'm going to iron, but to do that, we just put those ends together. I'll show you that more slowly in just a minute, because if you're new, you're going to be like, what did she do? Well, that's how I was when I first saw it done. So I assume other people might have that same, whoops, reaction. Also, some people actually don't cut out the corners. They do their boxing first and then they cut off the excess fabric. I think this is easier for me to get it more precise. Alrighty, so let me get my, whoopsie, there's all these things flying around in here. Let me get my wool mat. Now, Eve, I noticed you have a small wool pressing mat, and so I had mat envy. So I went on to Amazon today to look for a small one. I found one that was, okay, the one I found was called a needle something. Oh gosh, I can't remember what it was called. Needle felting or something like that. You got yours from Dime. Okay. Alrighty. I bet they cost more. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Now, it's a little bit more difficult with this. What am I going to do? Here's what I should have done is I probably should have ironed it before I did that one also. It's going to be fine. Just smush it down, Marilyn. Get over it. Just start at this end. So I'm going to press open my seams. And this thicker fusible fleece does make it a little more difficult than the thinner fusible fleece. Now, don't do like I do and leave it sitting on there like that for very long, because on the back side of mine, it's reversible. I have a burn spot that's in the shape of this little mini iron. Okay, there we go. I think I figured it out. So I was trying to do it straight down, and this other one is straight down. So kind of get it off to the side. There, much easier. The price is definitely different. A patchwork. Oh, that's true. Yeah, keep all those little squares. I have started keeping everything, Lisa. Since I've started doing a little bit of quilting, I just keep all the scraps. Needle felting, yes. Hey, Faith. Thanks, Tanya. She said, hit the like button. Hit that like button. Okay, almost done with this one. Good enough. Now, let's get this one. I swear. I feel like I need to put something inside of it and use what I put inside of it. Where to put my little Cricut mat? That's why I need a teeny tiny little one of these now, is so I can put it inside of it. Okay, I'm just going to worry about the ends where it gets sewn together. I'm not going to worry about all the way across. Keeping all the scraps makes you happy. Same here, I have scraps in Ziplocs and then store them by color. You know, I saw one guy even say he keeps all the thread that you're throwing in there, and he said make thread sandwiches. I'm like, I don't know what a thread sandwich is. And I Googled thread sandwich, and what came up was little sandwiches made out of felt or something that you sew, you probably hand sew them with thread. Maybe he was using the leftover thread for those. Has anybody else heard of a thread sandwich? Okay, one more on this one. Kristen, it probably would be easier, but here's the deal is if your interfacing is not caught in your stitching, I don't think it's going to give you the amount of extra stiffness there. So I think it would add to the padding, and I think it would give it stiffness on the rounded parts. But if it's not under those threads, I don't know that it would hold it round or squarish round. So I don't know. It definitely would be easier to sew it if I didn't have that, but I feel like I need it there for the integrity of the basket. But I can be totally wrong. If you try it without it and you try it with it and you like one better than the other, please, please, please post that and let us know. Okay, so I'm not worried about going all the way down here because all I'm going to sew together is right down here and right down here. So I said I'd show it again. Let me show what I'm doing. So here's what we start with. Here, let's do it this way. Here's what we start with. You're going to take these. See, it looks like a fish mouth. Open, close, open, close. Ah, ooh, ah, ooh. Okay, I'm weird, I know. You're going to close it. And then, I'm such a goob. Okay, you're going to close the little fish mouth. And then we're going to clip it so that those seams come together. And then we're going to sew all along the little fish mouth. We're going to do the same thing over here. Doesn't matter if it's this way or this way. You got your little fish mouth. You're going to close the fish's mouth. And get the lips lined up. You don't want the top lip way back here like that. You don't want it way over there. You want the lips to line up. I have an overbite. You don't want this to have an overbite. Oh, it's getting hot in here, guys. You know I get hot in this room. Okay, Lisa, thank you. Thank you for laughing at my goofiness. Okay, so we got this set of lips put together, and we have this set of lips. Has Jesse come in here tonight? He usually tells me to turn my air conditioner on, and guys, I'm getting really, really hot. So I'm going to go make it where the air conditioner will come on, okay? I'll be right back. I try to get without it because our air handler thingy is right over here in a little closet in this room, and it gets loud. Okay, so here it is, the way it's pinned. Now let's do the other one, because then we can just sew them at the same time. A scrap thread sandwich is a textile art technique where various threads and yarn scraps are layered between two sheets of water-soluble stabilizer or tulle and then stitched on the machine to hold. Well, I gotta see what the heck that is. Almost should be going, what is that goofy old lady doing? Okay, so we have another piece. We're going to do the exact same thing on it. We're going to hold each side. This one's not going to work as easily because it's not as padded. But we are making that same fish mouth. See, this one's not as easy because it doesn't have that fusible fleece. But there's our poor little, let's just do it. There's our little fish mouth. We're doing the same thing. Now, hey, I can just iron it here. That would have been so much easier. So if I put those together and I iron out those seams where I'm going to be sewing, aha, that's easier. Do not try to do it like I did it earlier. Make your little fish mouth, then iron them down. That is way easier. Way easier. Hey, So Blessed by Jess. Hey, Delonda. Hey, Eileen. You said you're looking for a good armless craft sewing chair. Yours looks supportive and comfortable. Would you please tell me the brand? Oh my goodness. I'll look in a little bit. This is actually, stole it out of my daughter's room because she no longer lives here. And it's pink. I love pink. And then I have, where's the other chair? I have a black one too, that I just got at Walmart. And it's an armless office chair. If you search armless office chair, Walmart, Amazon. Okay, so now remember, we're going to sew across that fish mouth. So I'm going to go ahead and clip it down so it holds together before I sew it. Okay? Going over to this little fishy mouth. That one's working better. So here it is. We're just putting it down like a fishy mouth. Gonna iron on the seam just where it's going to be sewn together so that I get a nice smooth seam. Okay. So I'm just going to sew in a 1/2 inch or so. My seam allowance is only 1/4 of an inch. You never know. We might get her to sew. She gave in on rhinestones. She might join us on this too. Okay, so we're gonna clip those together. And then I'm going to go ahead, you don't have to clip over here, but I'm going to clip it together. Just, I think by clipping that down, it starts to kind of understand where it's supposed to be. It starts forming the way it needs to be formed, okay? So I have the clip on the two sides holding that together. Let's move this guy over a little bit so it's really clipping down the side. And then we have our first piece. All we're going to do is sew along here, here, and then the same place on this one. Sewing that fish's mouth closed. Oh, Vixen, you did. That's a great price. Your embroidery is amazing. Patrice has one that she got off a TikTok shop. And it's cute. It's fuzzy. It's a white fuzzy chair. And I think it's armless. And the back piece looks kind of like a heart. All right, so all we're going to do is sew across that fish mouth. Let me see if I can get my foot pedal to reach the ground. There we go. Usually I sew barefooted. I have shoes on today. What's wrong with me? Oh, let me make it so you can see it a little bit better. There we go. Okay, so you're just going to kind of flatten this down so that you can easily sew it. There's not going to be a ton of stress on this, but there's going to be some. So I am going to start with the back stitch, and I will end with the back stitch. And hush, I put my needle down, and then I put my presser foot down. I'm still doing that 1/4 inch seam allowance. So let's go ahead and go forward one and then back. And be sure you don't get your fingers down in there. It will bite it. If you need to use something, Dimps uses what she calls a stiletto. I'm sure they're called stilettos. I have, it's over there, I have a chopstick, from a wooden chopstick from a Chinese restaurant. Because in the little town where I live, the best restaurant in town is an authentic Chinese restaurant. And we order from there about once a week. And so I've stopped having them include chopsticks because I have a ton. And so I use them for sewing and embroidery. Okay, so let me show you. That's what it looks like. We just sewed that opening shut. And I did iron this whole one. I didn't iron in the middle in this one. I can go back and do that. But for now, I wanted to iron it where the sewing was going to happen. Hey, Jessie. Yes, Jessie, I was looking for you because I was whining about being hot, and I knew you'd tell me, go turn the air on. It's okay. We can take a little noise. Okay, got my needle down where I want it. Let's pull my thread under the presser foot and lower that presser foot. I'm going to go forward and then a back stitch, and then let's let her go. Now, I'm going to go pretty slow over this seam. Make sure that it doesn't get flipped while I'm putting it under the presser foot. There we go. Finish with a little back stitch. And now we'll do the other one. The other one will be a little bit easier because it is less bulky. This one has that fusible fleece on it, so it's a little bit bulky. And this is my first time to make this size. I don't know if I'm going to like it, but I think I am. I think I am. Okay. Hey, Gail. Oh, you made so many of the bags for holding your back quarters. I'll bet that is cute. That is super, super cute. I had such a good time today when I went back and watched that live where we made these the first time. Because it was new to myself and Patrice, I know. It might have been new to Eve, but Eve just has a knack for sewing. So, like, she just naturally kind of understands what she was doing. Well, and I think Eve's made quite a few totes where you are using the same boxing technique. But I had fun just watching the replay. Let's see. Make it look so easy, then when I try, I'll have mountains and hills because I can't do anything in a straight line. So here's one thing you can do, 41 Dixon, and I believe that I learned this from Unbiased. Before you start using fabric, because fabric is not cheap, unless you have a whole lot of people's scraps, get some lined notebook paper, like out of a spiral notebook, or you know what I'm talking, loose leaf paper, whatever, and sew on those straight lines. Just sew on the paper. It's not going to hurt your machine. Unbiased, wasn't that you that taught us to do that? Just use paper. and just go slow. Like, it doesn't bother me that I have to sew this slow in front of all you guys. Just go slowly. Have you guys noticed that in the live chat they're throwing up ads now? It drives me crazy. Okay, what Faith say? Can I order those little clips from Amazon? They have a bunch of pins. Yes, and I can give you the link if you want just a single color, like they came in pink and purple, maybe turquoise, I don't remember. They were kind of hard to find, but I really wanted just pink ones. And I can give you that link here in just a little bit. Okay. Now, all this thread's going to be hidden. So do I need to trim all this off? Probably not. But I am. Okay. Let's get my iron over here because I think I'm going to do a little bit ironing real quick. I am making, oh good. Okay, you're Angel. Nice to meet you. Vera. Yes, Vera. I'm going to make that here in a little bit. I'm going to stitch it out, see how it goes. And I was so glad to do it. Okay, so I want to iron the seam open at the top because we're getting ready to stitch around the top. And your seams are going to be smooth seams. That's what you're going for. Your seams are going to be smooth if you iron them down. Look how much more smooth it's going to go over that than that. That's just sticking up in the air. So we're going to fix that by opening it up and ironing it down. Now, hey Care, okay, Care for All. Hey Care for All, welcome. Uh-oh, what's Mylene talking about? What is Mylene talking about? Stitch and Shine Designs by Ida. Hi. That sounds like a great idea. My daughter wants me to teach her to sew, so I will start there. Good. Okay. Hey, Ruji. So we have our two parts of our bag. And before I go on, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of find where those two meet up. And I'm going to do a little, just a tiny little press. That's just going to help it find its shape, I think. I didn't do this last time. But we're going to do it this time and see if it helps it find its shape. Okay, so that one will stand up on some. It's a little bit lopsided. It's going a little wonky. It'll be fine. Okay, let's go ahead and give this just a tiny little press. And give this one a tiny little press. And we'll see how this works out before I tell you you should do that, because I don't know. Now, at this point, we have to turn one of these the other way because we are going to sew them pretty side to pretty side. Right now, if I tried to stuff one down in the other, I'd have pretty side of this one to not pretty side of this one. And so we're going to turn one of them. And I used to think it mattered really which one you turned. And because these are reversible, I don't think it does. So we're flipping this one out, and then you want to poke out those corners, get those corners nice. And there it is so far. I am going to stuff it down into this one so that now pretty sides are together. See, pretty sides are together if you do that. Also, I have a seam on this side and a seam on this side. And in this one, my seams are on this side and this side. So I don't want to turn it that way. I want my seams to go together. I don't know if that matters, but when you are kind of OCD-ish, that's how you do it. Okay? So I'm just going to pull it so that the tops are flush, and I'm going to clip that one together. Then I'm going to go to this side where I have my 2 seams. I'm going to put those together and clip it. I'm just going to kind of smooth this out in there. Hey, C Mills. A quilt box sweatshirt. Really? Cool. Okay, was that a question for me? Let's see. You have to take them off the show. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I hope I didn't miss any questions. If I did, put it down below. Or, put it back in there. Okay, so I have those 2 together. Now I want to, sorry, I licked my fingers so I could get the fabric to move. Do you guys lick your fingers when you sew? Not when you cook, but when you sew. Thank you, Anne. So I am making it where the tops are all flush. Is the inside pretty yet? No. And I don't care that it's a little bit wonky in there because we're not done. We're going to have to flip it right side out here in a few minutes. Now in this one, we are going to leave an opening. We're not going to sew it all the way around. If we sew all the way around, we can't flip it right side out. That came together nicely. So I'm going to leave 2 inches, 2.5, 3 inches. It doesn't matter. If I'm going to leave a 2 inch-ish, is that a word, inch-ish? A 2 inch-ish opening. Hey, Kathy's Jewelry and Crafts. This seems like a long time since I've seen you. Oh, you had to take it apart, Mylene? We all do that stuff. All right, so if you are more comfortable marking it like an X, like don't go past this, that's okay. It's not going to show. So I'm going to put a little line here. And I'm going to put a little line here. That'll remind me. So I'm going to start, let's see, I like to sew, I'm going to take that arm off, and I like to sew that way. So I'm going to start at this one. I'm going to go all the way around until I get to this other line, and that's going to leave this opening. So let me bring the sewing machine back over and take this little support thing off. Support arm, support, I don't want to use the word thing. All right, so let me find my lines. There they are. I think you can see that. So we're going to start at this line. My big goal, oh, hold on. We got to talk about one more thing. My big goal as I sew around here is to keep the top flush. But if you get off a little bit, don't sweat it. It's okay. Now here's the important thing. I want to leave more than a 1/4 inch seam allowance on this top part. And you'll understand, I think this is the right thinking. This is what I said in the last live, and I'd been watching videos on these. We're gonna flip the material right side out, and then to close up the top, we're gonna do a top stitch all the way around. If my top stitch is down a 1/4 inch and I only do a 1/4 inch seam allowance now, it's not going to catch all that fabric, so it's going to be loose in there. So I'm going to do more like a 1/2 inch seam allowance right now. Let's see. The same live, I got my finger stuck in the... I'm sorry. Stacy, you make me laugh. You make me laugh. I love laughing, Stacy, so thank you. Thank you. We all do silly things like that. Oh, I use my seam ripper a lot because I make tons of mistakes. Okay, So I lost you. Okay, so probably on the seam allowance thing, we're going to sew all the way around. We're leaving about a 2.5 inch opening. In a minute, you'll understand more, Vixen. For now, it's important to know that if you are using a 1/4 inch seam allowance everywhere else, and you need to stay consistent everywhere on this basket, except for here. On this piece where we're going to close it up, or almost close it up, you're going to use a larger one, and hopefully it'll make more sense on our next step. But for now, I'm going to use about a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay. Oops, let me get where you can see it. Because I honestly want, once you've seen this, and you might have to go back and watch it while you're doing it, I feel like when I'm on here doing a project by myself, when I'm with others, a lot of times, you know, we're just having fun and all that. So I might not teach very well. But when I'm on here by myself, my goal is that you and I both learn something. And so I would love for people to feel comfortable making these after the live. So I want you to understand it all. So don't ever feel weird or anything about asking questions. Okay, I'm going to start. I'm going to back stitch, and then I'm going to go. Now my machine has marks on the, is this called the throat plate? Shantae, welcome, 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 welcome. Mine has marks on the throat plate, and each one of them are just larger and larger increments for your seam allowance. If you keep the edge of your fabric straight on a particular mark, you're going to be sewing straight, as long as your fabric was cut straight. Okay. Shantae, I'm so glad that you're in the group now. I feel like I'm getting off just a tiny bit, but really nothing that's going to be, it's not going to affect it. Quilt Lynch, are you still in here? I haven't seen you lately. And if so, do you like to sew also, or you mainly, well, quilting involves a lot of sewing. Don't worry, I don't usually take roll call. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay, just checking. I don't usually take roll call, but I've been so thrilled that you've been in these lives. Okay. Because you're another person with a lot of knowledge, and I often need that. Okay. My inside fabric has come out a tiny bit, but again, it's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Okay, I'm about 2 inches away from my mark. That means stop. So let me go about 2 more inches. Ah! Slow down. And then I'm going to do back stitching, because there's going to be a decent amount of force put on this part here in just a minute. Okay, let's turn that down. You hush. Okay. I wouldn't use the friction pins on any fabric that's going to show, definitely not for quilting lines. It is still a chemical that will react with the fabric. If it gets cold enough, the lines will show. I know people have said that. I swear, I put something I used it on in the freezer and it never came back, but maybe that was too cold. But when I used a friction pin on black fabric, it was terrible. It left terrible marks. Hey, Zelda. Alrighty, I have used the friction pins for years with no problems. Yeah, that using it on the black fabric was the only time I've had a problem. Love quilting and machine embroidery. Okay. All right. So here's what we have. Doesn't look like much. Hopefully I did this correctly. I'll be real embarrassed. real embarrassed if I didn't. Okay, we're going to pull all the inside out. It's like that magic trick. Pulling it out your sleeve. Okay, keep coming. Keep coming. It all has to come out. Adding this fusible fleece, the thicker one of these, makes this a more difficult process. But you just pull a little bit at a time and it'll get there. Leave a larger opening if you want to. Okay. So, doesn't look like much yet. There we go. How do you like that project? We're not done yet. Don't worry, we're getting there. What I want to do is just kind of get my little, here, let me get my chopstick. I'm going to go in through that opening and I'm going to kind of poke out these corners, okay? Because once you sew this shut, your opportunity to go from the inside is done. So take this time to do that. Poke out all of your corners there. And then iron. There it is. I need somebody that just keeps track of where I put stuff. Okay, so we're gonna try to roll these so that the seam is on the edge. So it's not like that, and it's not like that. We're trying to get that seam right on the edge. And then let's iron that down, press that down. I used the wrong words. We're pressing it, we're not ironing it, but you know what I mean. Thank you, Vixen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now your SE 2000, is that what you said? How large of a hoop does it have? Because in the members posts, I have some mug rugs. Okay, so we're trying to get this at the very edge. Stacy and Ambias, thanks for the welcome. Jesse. Okay, we're going to press that down. And for now, I'm going to go ahead and just press on these two sides. Again, just to kind of help it find its form. Thanks, Lisa. Yellow and blue's happy. Yeah. Next time, I'm using this yellow with black. It's going to be classy. Classy, classy. Okay. Now, because I want this to be my lining, we're going to push it to the inside. And you'll see again later that it's reversible. So eventually it'll be to a point where I could reverse it. One day I feel like having blue out, I have blue out. The next day I feel like having yellow out, I have yellow out. What I'm doing right now is, okay, Vixen, here is why it was important to have a larger inseam. So you see, this is the part that has to get stitched down when we do a top seam. Sorry, let me get in the right place. So if I would have only done a 1/4 inch seam allowance, this would barely be flipped over and it'd be hard to catch with my top seam. So that's why I did a nice 1/2 inch seam allowance up here. Every place else I did a 1/4 inch, but you do need to remember, I think for the best outcome, to have this top have a much larger or substantially larger seam allowance, okay? And if I ever say inseam, it's because I make that mistake a lot. It's a top seam allowance. Now I'm rolling this to try to get this seam at the very top again, so that when I'm looking at it from that side, I don't see blue. And when I'm looking at it from this side, I don't see yellow. So to try to accomplish that, and you're always going to have a little bit that doesn't work out perfectly the way you wanted it to, but we are going to press this. So I'm going to go around and really try to inspect. Are the fabrics together the way I want them? And I'm sorry you can't see in the bag while I'm doing this, but I'm just inspecting, making sure it's together the way I want it, and then I'm pressing. Yo, not my finger. I pressed my finger. Oh, Bobby. So I linked the video that I relied on when Ian and Patrice and I made these 8 months ago in a live. I linked the video that I had sent to those two ladies and that I relied on to learn how to do this. So if you want to see her video, just go to my channel and search for Fabric Basket and look for a live that was in January. And in that video description, you should find a video of a lady that I watched. She had kind of a British accent, and she kept saying she needed to marry them up. I need to marry up, which I think by marry up she meant be even. Okay, so I have it all pressed. Here's my opening. So look, that's gonna look good, but I have to top stitch it for it to look good. So I'm going to start my top stitching. I think I'm gonna start in one of the seams. And then I want to go over this open area first so that I remember about it and pay really, really good attention to it. Oh, that hurts. Yowie. And I'm going to top stitch this maybe a 1/4 inch away from the top, probably a 1/4 inch. I'll stay with that 1/4 inch seam allowance. You've been making bold cozies? Okay, you are not my friend anymore. You hurt me. You get out of the way for a little bit. Oh, remember earlier I said, don't set your iron down on there for very long. See, that's what happens. So when I don't want to remember that mistake, I just flip it over. Yes, so glue it shut. Quilt winch, glue it shut. We're gonna top stitch it. I've glued a lot of things shut. When I make the little pouches, I always glue the bottom seam. Well, I say always. Get out the aloe. Okay. If you do the... Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I think I've seen most of the comments. I think. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish this off. And then we're going to do that 4x4 friendly mud rug. Okay, so here's my opening. So I'm going to start at this side seam. And I'm going to go toward. I always like to sew in the same direction. So let's get this under there. Usually you can lift up on this lever even more to get a little extra height out of your foot pedal. I'm sorry, not your foot pedal. What's this foot called? Your foot. That little foot thing. I can't believe I can't think of the name of this. Somebody help me. Help me. Pressure foot. Thank you. Ooh. Whoa, never thought of that. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's get that thread down in there and back this up just a little bit. Okay, got my needle with the thread on it down in there. I'm going to sew right along the edge of my presser foot. Well, if I remember that name, somebody had to tell me, Kristen. We're gonna go really slowly on this part. But I'm going to do a tiny little back stitch. I don't even think you need to on this because you're not getting pressure on this part. Now, where's my opening? There's my opening. Last time I didn't pay attention, and the liner, where it wasn't attached to the outside, kind of came up and peeked out a little bit. And I didn't like that. So I'm trying to be a little more careful this time. Got a tough hill to climb here. Okay, before I get to the end, I'm going to clip that thread on the top. And then I'm shooting for going right over that thread. So I'm going to slow down, and I'll just help it with the wheel on the side. So for anybody new here, I'm a little OCD, and it's okay. I just have to do what I have to do to be happy. So that looks good. I like the colors. I like it. So at the beginning of the live, you guys were deciding whether we wanted to have the thread stand out or blend in. On this one, we decided to have it stand out. On the next one I'm going to do black fabric and then with this yellow fabric, and on that one I'm going to have it blend in. But do I like the size? I do. I like the size of this. It's a little bit larger than the one that started with 6x6 squares and decently smaller than the one that started with 10x10 squares. And I love the feel of it with the fusible fleece. So I'm just going to kind of tug and get it all nice. If I wanted to, I could iron that down, but I don't need to put you through that. And I'm mad at my iron because it burned me. Okay. Cute. Look. Look how cute that looks. So there we go. All the way around. If I could hold it straight. I like the thread to stand out, kind of match this on this. It would have been just as pretty if it blended in. I like that. These are both just like lightweight quilter's cotton. And this is my favorite one as far as how it feels. Where did I put the other two? This one's pretty close. But this one I didn't use the fusible fleece. This is a thick, sturdy fabric. This one is nice too. It stands well. But I used really sturdy fabric. This one I'm not in love with at all. Because look at that. This one, all I used was lightweight interfacing. Now I used 4 pieces. I used it on all 4 of the pieces that I used to sew this together. I would definitely prefer using fusible fleece on one of the fabrics and just regular interfacing on the other. But that's just my 2 cents. Alrighty. Okay, what'd Jessie say? Or maybe Tanya's just saying, Jessie. Okay, yeah, they're just saying hi. All right, so I hope that that was helpful. Okay, so Vixen must, and Angel, her name is Angel, must have asked a question about that. So this thing on the end, now this is an old sewing machine. I don't have a button that you push and it just goes. On those machines, on a machine where you just push a button and it goes, do you still have this wheel so that you can help it slowly get started? You, like on this one, if I wanted to do all my sewing like this, well, I'm going, yeah, like this, I could do all my sewing like that. I would never have to turn on the machine. That'd be really slow. But it helps me get things started, or like, okay, so it is on those two, or slowly going over the hump where all those fabrics came together. It helps with control. Absolutely. Thanks, Chris. You know I love polka dots. Love my polka dots. You never touched it? Yeah, these would make really cute gift baskets. Fill them up with some stuff, and they still have the basket as well as all the stuff. But now that I've made this one, and it is so sturdy, I don't like, look at this. Limp, don't like it. Like these two. Those are my two favorites now. Can I take this apart and put fusible fleece in there? I don't know, but let's move that to the side. I'm going to go ahead and do this 4x4 friendly mug rug. And then after it stitches out, assuming I like it, I will post it in a member's post. Let's just move this over. And okay, let me add this to the stitch. Right now, this is the screen of my embroidery machine. You see the little ring light in the background here reflecting off of it? It's right over here. Let's go ahead and make that one larger. And then, let's see, Vera says, so if you're new, this is Vera. I need to make one too because I've been letting all the thread fall and then let roll it away. Like Calgon, take it away. Yeah, that's what I'm going to use these for. I've already been using one of them. The purple. You like the purple one? Store all your mug. Oh, that's a good idea. Store all my mug rugs in one. I could try to make one that's like longer from side to side and narrower. I don't know. I have a lot of mug rugs. I better not make it little. Okay. I think I might take it apart, Gail, because I don't like it. I loved it when I made it, but after feeling that, I don't like it so much. So this is a Poulin EOC06. I'm going to turn it on. It has up to an 11 by 7.8 or 7.9 hoop. I love it. I was reading the other day, you know, some people don't like them and have had some issues with it. I love mine. It's been a great machine, and I like that it's so much more user-friendly than, I love the Husqvarna too, but the Husqvarna has a little more older, kind of antiquated software. Interface. That's probably the word I mean. Not software, interface. Okay. So let me use my phone because I'm going to be kind of over here showing you what I'm doing. Okay, so I just turned it on. The first thing, and this is very important, and I learned this out the hard way just within the last few days. It says the hoop unit guide will move. Please remove the hoop. I didn't do that the other day, and my hoop hit, let me show you. My hoop hit this and knocked it. And fortunately, I just had to twist it back and make sure that the needle was in the middle of the hole and that everything was fine. But it kind of freaked me out. So read those instructions. I learned my lesson. So I'm going to say, okay, I don't have a hoop on there, so don't worry about it. Okay, now I can either go into my Poulin stuff. I'm probably going to have to turn it all the way back off and back on. No, I'm not. Or I could have gone where it said end stitch. End stitch is how you can transfer your files wirelessly, which I like to do. in-stitch cloud. So this is the original one. This one was not 4x4 friendly. It was a little over 4 inches. And so, well, here it is right here. It was quite a bit over. It was, the final product was about almost 4.5 inches. And so it would have started out 4 3/4 inches or so. And so that won't fit in a 4x4 hoop. So now we're going to use the smaller one, which I just adjusted in Embroidery. So that's my pattern. Notice up here, the first step is pick your pattern. And you're either going to pick it from your USB, you know, the little USB drive that you can stick in the side, or something that I have in InStitch, which is a cloud-based place that I can store my embroidery files. So I went to InStitch and I found it. Okay. There's also some built-in patterns and apparently some pattern borders, and I could put text in there from this. I only bring in text from Embroidery and do it that way. So I've not used those other things. So I have my pattern. Now I'm ready to move to the second step, which is configuration. I'm going to make sure I have the correct hoop. It's a 5x5 hoop, but this is 4x4 friendly. Okay, so that's the right one. I can either hit save or I can hit back. It doesn't matter because that's the one that is selected. Okay, let's go to colors. It is on the first stitch. The first stitch on this is my placement stitch. Now, I didn't put color stops, or I didn't put stops in this, so I have to pick different colors to make sure it stops in between. I don't really care what colors I put on here as long as I know what color I'm really going to use. But I'm going to stay with pretty close colors. My first color I'm using is this kind of butter yellow. So the yellows are at the back, so I'm just going back to page 9. I'm going to do my placement stitch. I'm going to pick that color. Again, it just matters what color spool I have on there. So now I'm on step 2, and that is my tack down stitch. And we'll talk about each of these as we go, what they mean, but basically that's going to sew the fabric to my stabilizer. And I'll tell you why I'm not hooping the fabric also. So I want that to also be a yellow. Now I can't remember if I use that one or that one. Let's just say that one. Okay, so now I'm on step 3. Step 3, Lena Doyle, are you still in here? Because I'm getting ready to say your favorite word. This is the stippling. And I want my stippling to be this dark gray. So we're going to go find something that represents that. Black is close enough. I'll know what I mean. Stitch 4 is the word hey. Right now I have it in black. I have written down what I want it. I've decided I'm going to do it in a turquoise color. So let's just pick that. Now, let's go back because it looks so dark on there you can't tell. Let's just put this blue. There you go. So you see it change colors. That will clue me in to put my blue or my turquoise on there. You guys are lefties. Got some lefties. My sister was lefty. Right. If it doesn't look good, just don't try a big project at first. Okay, so now I'm on step 5. Step 5 is that pink, and it's the hearts. I want step 5 to be this rust orange color. So I'm just going to go find an orange. It doesn't matter if it's that color or not, just something that lets me know, hey, Marilyn, put the orange on. Step 6 is the word girl. And I want that to be this yellow. So I'm going to go find another yellow. There, I'll pick that bold yellow. And then the last step is where I'm going to put the back of my mug rug on top as an envelope closure. Again, I'm going to talk about all this. And that is also going to be a yellow. But since I need my machine to stop and I didn't build that in, I'm going to pick a different yellow so that it will stop for me. So we have all of our colors. That blue is not right, but that's okay. So I'm going to save those. I don't need to mirror it. I don't need to do anything else. So now I'm going to go over to the embroidery. Whoops, I'm sorry, you didn't see that. Step 3 right here is the embroidery confirmation, I guess. And there's a lot of things you can do here. If the thread breaks and I need to be back up, I can go to needle and go back. I could go back an entire color, but we don't need to get into that. Okay, so now I can say ready. And now we need to hoop our stabilizer. So let me cover this so you guys don't get too dizzy. And voila. Okay. Hoop. Where to pitch it? So this is the hoop. And my other embroidery machine, the hoop attached to the machine on the left. This one attaches on the right. At first that annoyed me, but it makes sense because if you have a lot of stuff hanging off over here, you're not having to shove it between the needle and the edge of the throat plate. So I like it attaching on the right side. There is a little arrow here, and that matches up. I want to say marry up now that I thought of that lady that I watched that video from. Can you see right there? It's just an arrow that's embossed in there. Now these clips are optional. I have 2 of this size hoop. One has them, one doesn't. It really doesn't make much of a difference to me if I have those or not. And then this is a cutaway stabilizer. Now it's puckered. It's different than my other cutaway stabilizer. Okay, nope. I keep my scraps, and sometimes I'll roll them up and I'll put them down in here. So I was looking to see if I had a scrap that would work. Now I don't get too concerned about having too much stabilizer because I've done one too many times where I had too little stabilizer, and that's a big problem. So I'm sorry if you feel like I'm wasting a little stabilizer, but I probably am. Okay. Now I'm not going to hoop my fabric because my mug rug is going to be this big. Well, let me hoop this first and then I'll show you. Okay, I need that arrow up here, and there is a little screw right here. If it's too tight, I can loosen that up, but I think I'm okay. So I'm going to put it in away from where you adjust the tightness, and then go ahead and put it down in. And now I'm going to go ahead and screw this screw back in to tighten my hoop up. When you're hooping things, if you're kind of new, I recommend just do it flat on a table. Don't try to do it crazy. Just do it flat on the table. Now I'm going to move this so it's off the edge so I can screw that screw a lot easier. There's room for my hand to move if I'm at the edge. So I try not to pick it up and screw it. I try to keep it flat and just move this off the table so I can reach that. Okay? So I have room for that. Now, you can put those down. Okay, so my mug rug's going to end up being really, really small. I have already pre-cut the fabric. Ooh, I should have done a better job of getting some fruit in the middle, although it'd probably get covered up. It's fine, Marilyn. Don't worry. Don't sweat the small stuff. This has fusible fleece on it, and I've already cut it down. If I were hooping my fabric, I would be wasting a lot of fabric, and fabric is not as cheap as the stabilizer. So the first stitch we're going to do is called a placement stitch. It's going to sew a straight line around. That is going to let me know exactly where I need to put my fabric. Okay? Hey, Danny. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Angel, good. Good, good, good. And it's okay to just start out with a basic presser foot. I don't even know what the presser feet were until recently. And I've had my sewing machine for years and years and years and years, close to 30 years. Okay, now, let's close that. There we go. Hopefully you didn't get too sick. Let's move it down. Now, do not misbehave tonight. Be good. Did I see V come in? I thought I saw V come in. Nope. Okay. So, just like I showed you earlier on the sewing machine, this presser foot, even though it's up, I can make it go up even higher. So I can easily put my frame under it. And then let me make sure you can see what I'm doing. This makes it where some bars that are in there open so that it will go onto those little metal rod things. Okay? Let me kind of change this up a little bit because you don't want to be in there. Okay. Got my chopstick. So stitch 1 is simply a placement stitch to show me where I'm going to put my fabric. On this machine, there's a little start button. Start and trim. It automatically trims it. If you set yours up to auto trim, it automatically trims it. Mine is set to trim. Okay, so we're going to start it. Now, it's telling me, get in and put your presser foot down. So I put the presser foot down. Now it'll go. Now, usually, you know, I stop it and trim the thread. This is just the placement stitch. It's not going to show. So we'll get a little more OCD about that in a minute. If I need to do anything in there, I'm going to use this. I'm not going to put my hands in there. Okay. I mean, not while it's stitching. So that kind of got stitched down. That was my extra thread. Okay. Now the next step is my tack down stitch, which means it's going to sew down my fabric. And that's trimmed. That's going to sew down my fabric. So I just need to make sure that I have it covering that placement stitch. And I do. And I'm not going to worry about trimming this either, I don't think. I don't know. I might. We'll see. We'll see what my heart tells me to do. Let's go ahead and let me put my presser foot down. Over here, it is telling me, please change the upper thread. Because I had it set for 2 different colors. So it's telling me I need to change my thread. But I just want to keep using the same thread. The reason I picked 2 different colors was so it would stop and I could put that fabric in there. So I'm going to acknowledge that and then I'll hit start. And you know my heart was going to tell me to stop it and trim that thread. That's what I almost always do. And then we'll just start it right back up. Okay, step 3 is going to be the stipple stitch. Lena Doyle, you here? Step 3 is the stipple stitch. I want my stippling, I think is what it would be called, to be a dark charcoal gray, almost a black. And so this is what it's going to look like. And so let's back this up. You can probably see my quilt pieces laying back there on my laser. Okay. So we're going to cut up here because we don't want to pull the thread backwards. Pull it down the way it was meant to go through the machine. Alright, this machine's very easy to thread. You clip it in, around, down, up, over, and you're done. And this machine, what they said is, because some machines you're supposed to have the presser foot up, what they have said is this one, it can be up or down. So somehow those tension discs are apparently disengaged or something. I don't know. That's just what they told me. And then all I have to do is get the thread through that little bitty eye there. It does have an auto threader, but I stink at using the auto threader. So we're going to back you guys up like I always do. Back up a little. Because I got to turn this and see it from straight on. And usually I can thread this one, yep, without my glasses, because these needles have, I don't need this on here right now. Let's just get rid of this. This is just if you need it to support larger projects. Okay, why did I just put yellow thread back on that? Did anybody notice that? Bobby did. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. I'm delirious. All right. Well, silly me. Okay, put the right color thread on there. You all notice? That's funny. It does happen. My mouth was yapping and my brain wasn't thinking. It happens a lot with me. Mouth going, brain disengaged. Okay. I use a little bit of my spit again. And okay, is my head going to be in there if I... This one's harder to see because what's behind it is silver. This one might require my glasses, especially at the angle I'm trying to do it. Oh my goodness. All right, Danny, I'm getting the glasses. Getting the glasses. Let me grab my Danny glasses. Where are they? I just used them yesterday. Did my husband steal my Danny glasses? Oh my goodness. Oh, I know where they are. Okay. I had them in there with that new industrial machine. Okay, some people like these. Stacy tried them. Stacy hated them, I think. They do take some getting used to. Oh my goodness. Hold on. There we go. There we go. I don't know why I was able to thread that yellow in so easy. Okay. You have 2 pairs of those? Hey, Martha. And Jessie has them. Needle threader helpers with them. Probably. But the thing is you're coming from the backside, Kristen, and you're a little bit blocked is what I have found. I tried them. Okay, so it's telling me change my thread. I changed my thread. This time I changed it to the correct color. We're going to start it. I'm going to let a few stitches go, and then I'm going to stop it and trim my thread because I am thread anxious. That was something I learned from our girl Shay Shay. Now with that fusible fleece on there, or something needs to be under there to give it a little puff. That way your stippling is doing more than just looking like a line. Oh, you use them for blinging cups and tumblers? So a lot of you guys like Yeah, I was so happy when I got mine, and at first I was like, "Oh, these are a little hard to use," and then after I used them and figured them out, because you have to tilt them just the right way for how far away you are, and then once you get it dialed in, oh my goodness, on my upright embroidery machine, after I got that, I was ready to throw it out the window because I could never get the needle threaded. My husband would have to come thread it for me. And then after Danny told me about these and I got them, it's like, okay, I'm no longer stressed about this machine. Oops. Hey. Hey, Miss T from the Sip. Welcome. I know they give us a lot of options. Oh, Danny, I never even used, is it the light? I never even used the light. Do they have a light? Did I know that? I think I knew that. Yes, I knew that. Oh, did my light come on? I never use it. Forgot about the light. Auto threader. I know, Sharon, you know I'm terrible at that. What machine are you using now? This is a Poulin EOC 06. All right, so my stippling is done. It is showing me on my screen that it's now time to change to my blue turquoise thread. You use the light every time. I need to do that. My light's pretty dim because I forgot it had a light and I haven't charged them. Okay, so my thread is trimmed. We're gonna cut it up here, pull it through, and here's a future thread sandwich. Maybe, I don't know. I'm kind of doubting I ever make a thread sandwich, but I'm gonna look and see what it is, Kristen. Okay, so now we're using this teal colored thread. There is green and there's teal, so we're gonna use the teal. And I also have tried to make it a rule to put this on right away because I've forgotten it too many times, and that's not good. Sharon, if we ever get together and do sewing or embroidery, I'm bringing this, and you're going to teach me how to use that stupid auto threader. All right, let me turn it again, guys. We're going to try it without those glasses. Yay! Okay, so now this is the word hey. And when I designed this, I used the hidden stitches feature. So it's going to look like some stuff's missing. And I'll show you what I'm talking about, you know, when that happens or after it's done. But we're going to start it, we're going to stop it, and we'll start it back up. This stitch takes quite a while. So this is why I thought I would do this while I was sewing, but I get too annoyed with the noise. I always feel like I have to yell and like you guys can't hear me and you can really hear the machine, even though you guys always tell me you can't hardly hear the machine. I can. All right, this I don't know how many stitches are in this part, but there's a lot, and I don't turn my machine up real fast. I never have. I've never turned this one up fast, my multi-needle up fast. I should turn them up faster. Right one this time. I think so. I think I got it right, Lisa. Yes. The thread sandwich design photos look neat, just not for me. I'm gonna look them up. I don't know. It took you a few tries to learn the auto threader on your Juki. So at one point, I got to where it was working once every 3 or 4 times, and then it was like I have to, I have, I have to look and see how to do it every time. I never remember. Let's see, haven't figured out your topaz self-threader. My brother is super easy. I need to try again. Yeah, I saw somebody that was working on a machine where it was literally, it was all done for him. I mean, like they pushed a button and the whole thing was done for him instead of you having to manually do the auto threader. But whatever that machine was, and I don't remember what it was, the price of that machine was a lot. So my machine, after oiling it, sounds so much smoother. Oiling really does matter. You think you broke your auto threader? Yeah, I have seen people talk about that that's easy to do, to get them out of whack. Because, I mean, it has to be so precise. And so if something gets bent a little bit, it messes it up. All of yours are auto threaders? The foot has to be down on yours. I need to try it again. Let's see. Baby lock threader is called Never Miss Threader. So it's a really good one, Cindy. Sorry, guys. I need a little chapstick. On the baby lock, is it where you just push a button and it does it for you? Oh, so the brother one you have is the push of a button? That is so nice. Because I can thread, well, you saw me, I can thread this thing in like 10 seconds. It's getting the thread through the needle that takes me the time. Yeah, so Vixen, when I oil this, I go back to Poulin's video on oiling, and I just follow their instructions. I watch video. I'm very visual. And so I'll just watch their instructions, and I'll do it while they're doing it. I'll pause it. Okay, so let me look and see if you can see this. Can you see it looks like there's stitches missing in that white? If you can, that's because I use the hidden stitches feature in Brilliance to get rid of some of the stitches, decrease the number of stitches under other stitches so it's less bulky. Oh, but that is good. Just push a button. Oh my goodness. Sharon, is your new baby that just jumped in the back of your truck, does it have that push a button and it threads itself like that? Hey, Evelyn. Brother 700 SE auto threader is amazing. Wow. Was sort of ashamed when I was asked about my manual. I'm so visual. I will go find a video in a second. Yes. So, Angel, that's how I was too. And it was maybe a year, maybe a year and a half ago that the chat was kind of getting a little like somebody said something about people that are too lazy to read their manuals. It's like, oh my gosh. It's not that I was lazy. It's just I'm a visual learner, and just reading about it doesn't do it for me. But when I got this machine, I read that manual cover to cover. And even though it didn't all make sense just reading it, a lot of what I read stuck with me so that when I was doing it, it made more sense. All of yours have the push button to thread. Oh, hey, my so-called live. Thanks for being here. So I've been hanging out watching my so-called live, and then Jess, she was in here earlier. So blessed, Jess. Late night chatting while they're kind of working. Like last night, I don't know how much of the dress Jess made last night, but she finished a dress, and I think maybe she was going to wear it to work today. Today was her birthday. I should have told her that earlier. I forgot that. Jess, if you're still here, happy birthday. So Sharon, you say you don't read the manual till something happens. That's how I was, but on this one, I read it from cover to cover. And I showed this on my video. Here it is. Everybody that was like, girl, you need to be reading that manual. Look, I have notes. I know where to go if I need to figure out how to rotate my design, skip forward or backward. That I use a DSP file, how to adjust the tension, when to press ready and exit. And now I know those by heart. But when I first started on this machine, I, put a little yellow sticky note there to let me know that's where you need to go to find it. Yeah, the videos are so nice. Evelyn, you're reading yours? The only one I read the whole manual for was the serger. Elba! I never read my serger manual. But you know how I feel about that serger. Now, I watched some videos, and that night that we finally made a project, and we made some eyeglass cases. I made two. I made at least two. That's really where I learned, was from doing. When Cheryl Green told me she had read the whole Embroidery manual. Oh, wow! Now, I have not read the Embroidery manual. Oh, you're welcome, Jess. You finished it last night. You're lurking and cleaning. Well, I hope you had a good birthday. And she stays up really late. And then she goes to work, and I think she's a teacher in an elementary school, I think. So, she got some energy. Videos are a godsend. So grateful for you ladies in the crafting world that take the time to teach. Thank you, Angel. Thank you. Mylings, same way, only read your manual when something goes wrong. I didn't know they had a manual if you're talking about Embroidery. I just watched videos and learned it that way. Learned it by just going in there and doing. So, why am I big? Let's make me small. Let's look at this for a little bit. How's it looking? Why are you slowing down? I don't know. It's doing its thing. It knows what it's doing. It needs me to leave it alone. Unbiased, are you like gasping because we have not read our manuals? Or are you gasping because you thought something was going wrong on my machine? I love that yellow fabric. I'm not a yellow girl, but I really like this fabric. I wonder if Jess Craft Therapy is still in here, because you know she loves teal. Mylene says, I watch videos on Embroidery and you, Marilyn. Aw, thank you, Mylene. Evelyn, you're a jokester. You are a jokester, queen of the serger. I think I was telling last night or another time that I was on there live that I have serger. I'm scared of sergers. Unbiased, I read my Poulin manual. I didn't read my Embroidery manual. But Embroidery isn't dangerous, and the machine is. You're talking about the Embroidery manual. Did you read the Embroidery manual? I don't even know how many pages it is, but I want to print out that many pages. Okay, what'd Sharon say? I printed out and had it down, but still rather watch a bit. Yeah. Not many people have videos on Embroidery. I was so happy to see Marilyn making them. I was doing a little shouting dance in my living room. Angel, that's funny. I love it though. Oh, Bobby, we did a live on the serger. We did maybe the one and only live on the serger. Oh. Hi, gotta go back to this. Look at you. You have to die because you didn't read the manual. Let's see. I've never had a computerized machine before, and I didn't want to break them. Yeah. Yeah, my old sewing machine, I mean, I was probably... How old was I when I had my son? 32? And it was after him. So I was like 35 and got my first sewing machine. I didn't know you needed to oil them. I didn't know what any of the feet were. I just used it to sew curtains until the last couple years when I really got into what we did tonight. So if you came in later, let me show you what we did tonight. Okay, thinking about opening a sleeve on my sweatshirt to embroider something and then inserting it back together just to try it. Elba, we should do that. Cheryl did the same thing Sharon did. Printed out the manual. I'm going to have to look up that manual. I didn't even know there was a manual. Wait, mine's not a brother. Mine's a singer. Mine's a singer. Thank you, Sharon Davenport. So if you came in later after the first project, that was the first project. So cute. Cute, cute, cute. Okay. So now it is telling me on my little screen that it's time to put the kind of golden orange thread in. So this is the golden orange thread. And that is going to, let's see, what's that going to stitch out? The hearts. So let's go back up to the top. What did I step on? So it's just that fast until you get down here to where it's time to get the thread through the needle. Okay, you guys know the drill. You're gonna have to back up. Give me a little room. Let me turn my table. At least this time I put the right thread on. I didn't just re-thread the same color. Who does that? I do. I do. All right. There we go. I was watching this guy's video, and he counted on the screen how many times it took him before the thread went in where it's supposed to. Okay. So now we're doing the hearts. We're going to start it, let it stitch a couple of stitches, stop it. Okay. Now in between the hearts, it will self-trim. I don't have to do that again. Hopefully this color shows up well enough. Oh, you meant our singers are sisters. Okay, good. Yeah, I know, Lisa. I think we have the exact same one. You're still learning in Brilliance. It's not too hard. You just have to purchase each level if you want to do more. Yes. And just get in there and play with it. Even if you're not going to stitch it out, get in there and play with it. And Shay to download the manuals for machines. Elba. Who's Elba talking about? Is in Brilliance hard? Let's see. And does anyone use InStitch? So ink stitch, because, so I'm using InStitch. Let me make myself clear. I use InStitch to transfer my white. I use InStitch. Take 3. I use InStitch to transfer my files to my embroidery machine wirelessly. There's also something called Ink Stitch, which is a design program, and it has a digitizing patch. I don't know what the word is, not patch, but a feature that you can use to do digitizing. I used it to do my very, very, very first thing I ever embroidered that was from something I made, and it was just the letter M. Hey, Jay Mama, welcome back. So let me see which one you're talking about. Art Spirit, I don't. Now I tried ink stitch, and that is hard to me. I thought it was hard too. It just wasn't so user friendly, even though I use Inkscape. So Inkscape is the main program, and it has a feature called Ink Stitch. I use Inkscape a lot, but I didn't think Ink Stitch was very user friendly. Vera, I'm with you. Okay, have somebody want to send me, you guys probably paper pigs, and I will send you. Thank you, Bobby. NikkiWithMarilyn@gmail.com. What is Art Spira or Art Spira? Is it another digitizing program? All right, let's take a look at this. It's looking good. Okay. Now we are getting ready to do the word girl. And for that, I'm going to use this a little bit brighter yellow so it'll show up. Okay. Beep, 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 beep. There we go. Can you see everything? I'm sorry it's so dark over here. I don't know why it looks so dark on camera because it's not dark over here. Okay, what did I say? Bright yellow. Oh no. I haven't even started this thread yet. I've never used it. Do you guys hate starting threads? I literally saw a video, and the title of it was how to get your thread started. Apparently, I need to watch that. So the other day I was using this machine, and there's two little bars here that you put the thread behind, and it kept coming out of the small one down here. And I realized I wasn't getting it over into the little groove where it's supposed to be. So that was a big old Maryland issue. Now I think yellow was the thread I had the issue with, but it was a lighter yellow. Let's see how this one goes. It looks like it needs trimmed up. It's a little fuzzy. Okay. Here we go. Attempt number 1. Attempt number 2. What is it about this yellow thread that gets me? Gotta put the glasses on. There we go. Now I have to wait for my eyes to kind of get used to them. It's funny, you put these glasses on and the hole in that needle looks so big, and I know it's not. I know it's the same tiny little hole that I can't see without them. Okay, so this is telling me change your upper thread. I did it. And let me grab this thread. So I'm going to go ahead and start it. And stop it. And the hay was the bulk of the time, so we don't have that much time left. 8 minutes. 8 minutes as long as nothing bad happens. Now right now it's doing the little eye over the, it's doing a little dot over the eye. Let's see, don't buy Halloween candy too early, it's tempting. Oh, Tim usually has ours eaten before we get anywhere close to Halloween, but he's the one that buys it. He does that on purpose. Is Art Spirit a brother program then? Okay, so you came with your brother. Oh, Iris likes it. Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. So Madison, Mississippi, not Madison, Wisconsin. I was saying, I thought you were in Mississippi. Unbiased, what'd you post? I get the nothing bad happens. I had a weekend of major embroidery fails. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Unbiased, let's see what you posted. Did you post it in your group, my group, or both groups? Let's see. Oh, Maryland. Have you never used Facebook? Okay, that's Shay's thing. Okay, it must be an unbiased group. So we'll have to go see what she's posting after the live. Check my Facebook group. Maybe it's requiring permission. Notification. Okay, I don't know how to find it on this one. I have to go to my computer for that. Hey, Mrs. Parker. Thank you so much for coming in. Oh, Tracy. That's rough. But I'm glad you learned something from it. Okay, let's see what she posted. It's gonna be something about people that don't. It's gonna be something about people that don't read manuals. Okay. Let's go ahead. Ooh, Marshall, that looks cute. Okay. It is now in there, Unbiased. I don't know why it made me approve it. I think you posted enough that they should trust you by now. Because I don't have to approve everything. Perseverance and changing to a smaller hoop. Alright. I don't know if I'm going to like this yellow. It's going to be a little bit harder to see. I almost put the dark gray in there, but then I was worried the dark gray and the dark blue wouldn't work so well together. Oh, are you talking about my Facebook group? Angel? Yes, I missed the link when Eve posted. So I think Eve was well, maybe Eve did post it. I think Eve also posted Patrice's template for this shirt. Let me go grab it, since there's nothing I can do right now other than chat. Oh, I think Eve got it right when I was doing it. Right before I did it. So that's the Facebook group right there. You just have to answer those questions. Okay. Since we have 4 minutes, so this last part, if you're doing an envelope mug rub, so let me. What happened? What happened? There we go. Okay. So these are all envelope closure mug rubs. This one looks best. This is the one I'm going to show you. So here's the front of my little bitty mug rug. The back is a no-sew closure. So it's an envelope closure, like some pillows are. And so you have to have 2 pieces of fabric that we're going to put on the top. And I'll show you how I do that. First of all, let me get my heat press back on. And let me find my fabric. I cut out a piece of fabric already to be able to use. But for those of you that haven't been here for a long time, I misplace everything. I do. I misplace all the things. There it is. It's still sitting under my heat press. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get it ready, and then I'll show you So I either have a huge cutting mat or I have these little ones. And so when you don't need a huge one because you have too much junk on your desk, like I do, you can just butt 2 of these littler ones up side by side. It works great. So now I have not seen the Jennifer that asks me about my blade. I changed out the blade in my Martelli cutter today, and I haven't used it yet. Well, we're gonna see. We're gonna see if I did it. If it's gonna work. Woo, that feels good. Eve and I were talking about the Martelli cutters today, how well they work. Okay, so this is gonna be pretty small, so let me fold one over, make sure it's big enough. It's way big. Way bigger than I need it to be. Let's go ahead and press this. Press. Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and take this off the machine. We are not going to unhoop anything. Do not unhoop. Just take it off. Oh my gosh, that is sweet. You know, I usually go for pinks and purples and all that. Look how sweet that is. Oh my goodness. I picked different colors because I always do pink and browns and pinks and turquoises and more pink. And I was like, you know what? They'd like to see something different. And I love this. I love these colors. Now, where I trimmed my thread after I started on this heart, I didn't get it trimmed down all the way. Let's go ahead and trim it. Whoops, I missed it. No, I didn't. Got it. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we're making what's going to be the back of it. And I'll show you what that looks like before I put it back on the machine. Let's just fold another one about the same size. Are you the same size? Nope. Are you the same size? Let's see. Good enough. Good enough. Thank you. Hey, Nicole. Okay. All right, Angel. When I get off here, I'll take care of that. Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. I thought it stuck. Now, if I would actually figure out how big I need to make these and measure, I'd probably save some fabric, but it's okay. Okay, let me move this. Why are you not working? There we go. No, you're not working. They don't need to see the rest of this room. The rest of this room is a pit. Okay, it's sideways. Hey, Rondrea. Oh, I have the pattern for that bookshelf quilt. I just haven't started it yet. Okay, come on, Marilyn. Get it together. Okay, so here's my, I'm sorry it's looking the way it's looking. But here's my, hey girl. I have this folded and pressed. We're going to put it like that. I have this one folded and pressed. We're going to put it like this. Let's make sure, oh yeah, it's way bigger than it needs to be. It looks good. Is it pretty straight? Because you know. You guys all know. Good enough. All right, let me get a little tape. Take this down. Elbow, what are you looking for? Oh, the bookshelf quilt. Gosh, I cannot remember the name of it. Stacy, if you're in here working and you can hear my voice, or Shay Shay, what was the name of the site where the bookshelf quilt came from? Now, the difference in the bookshelf quilt and the other quilt that like Patrice and I have been working on is the bookshelf quilt, the blocks are embroidered or appliqued. Thank you, Sweet Pea. Whereas the quilt that Patrice and I started making, it's a sewn quilt. So there's no embroidery in it. But the bookshelf quilt, why is it dark? Bookshelf quilt is adorable. I have not started. I'm like analysis paralysis. I don't know exactly what I want to do, so I don't want to start and screw it up. Which is kind of stupid because you don't sew your blocks together till the end. Is it okay for Eve to post? Yes, absolutely. Eve, if you want to post that in my Facebook group, if it doesn't go through, I'll run in and that's not straight. I'll run in and approve it and approve Angel while I'm in there. Yes, that's what Eve and I were talking about today was the jelly roll quilt. Okay. Oh, good. I have plenty of bobbin. I looked at my bobbin before the live, and I was like, I think I can make it through with that. I'm going to put one more piece of tape in the middle, just a tiny piece, to kind of help it stay down, because it's either going to go down against this, either here or over here. I think it goes around this way. When it does that, because that top piece sticks up a tiny bit, you want to have it down as far as you can so the needle doesn't bump into it and pull it. Now, if it goes this way, they're not going to have any problems going that way because you're going over the hump instead of against the hump. Okay. Now, I don't think I need to trim this because this is going to get turned right side out and I'm not going to see that extra thread. So I'm going to say, okay, I changed my thread, even though I didn't, because I don't need to. Let's go. Now, put your pressure foot down. Let's go. Yeah, so this side's not an issue because it's going over it. This side is going to be trying to bump. It's not going to try to bump up against it. It could potentially bump up against it. So I'm going to hold that down and made it over. I've never had one catch it, but I've heard of people that have. Oh, good, Elba. Well, I hope you and your husband get home soon. Now this stitches around twice, just for added security and strength and all that. Let me go look and see if she tried to post it, Sharon. Let's see. Pending approvals. I don't have any pending approvals. There is this thing called Marilyn Mate, which is AI, which comes up with all these great posts. How did you learn various sewing techniques? Or Drama Unleashed by Dogs. What's that all about? Who did something with the dogs? A community member had a productive weekend, but the real excitement was the adorable doggy drama that ensued. Oh, somebody said something about doggy drama, and they didn't mean doggy drama. I can't remember what that was. Wreath goals achieved. Renee had done this wreath. Anyway, it's beautiful writing. It puts pictures in there, but it's not me. It's Marilyn Mate. Okay, there's Angel. Cricut, silhouette, embroidery, sublimation, bling tumblers, sewing. I make custom gifts to sell. You agree? Awesome. Let's see. Phyllis. Hollister, Silent Springs, Arkansas. I used to teach there. Phyllis, are you in the live tonight? Now let me see. I don't see that she has posted it in my group, Sharon. But I would love for her to. Okay, let's go ahead and take this off. Phyllis, I taught school in Silent Springs, Arkansas, way back. Way back when it was a little town. Grady Nichols was the principal's name at the middle school. Yeah, that was back before the boomingness that whole area has gone through. I loved it. I love Silent Springs. And Tim and I go camping in Arkansas a lot. So that is very cool. Okay. Let me remove this camera so that you guys don't have to. Why is that not working? Remove. Okay. And then I'll just do it more nicely. Now, I don't know what's going. Oh, it's all twisted up. That's why. There we go. Back to normal. Oh, broken elbow, 4 places, surgery at 7 a.m. Wow. You moved there in 96. I moved away from there. Here, let me add this back. I moved away from there before that. I don't remember what year it was. Let's see. Graduated. I moved away from there, I think, in 92. Okay. So we're going to loosen the little screw here. Take it out. And it is really slick how these envelope back ones work. Because we're going to cut around this. And I'll use my pinking shears in a minute just to get a little less bulk. Hopefully I did this all right. Okay, I am going to clip those corners, but not so close that I get nervous about threads popping out. And then you can clip a little bit going that way. Look at the back. And a little bit, take a little chunk out there. With that corner. Phyllis, I actually lived. So if you go from Silent Springs to Kansas, Oklahoma, and then head south, like toward Tahlequah, I lived out in the country with my roommate on a big old piece of land. She had moved a trailer onto it. I mean, a trailer home. And of course, that's on the river there. Is that the Illinois River? Tahlequah River. I can't remember. It was gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I lived inside of town. I was 22. I was teaching. And I lived inside of town in a little apartment. And I came home and somebody had done something nasty on my door. I was like, I can't live here if this is what's going to happen to me if I live in town. So I found my roommate who taught at the high school. And I moved in with her. Okay. Evelyn, you broke? No, Mary. Okay. All right, so we are going to turn this right side out on this side. Hey, Sylvia. Turn it right side out on this side. And there goes my DTF printer. Doing a print head cleaning. Then we're going to poke out these corners. I see a little thread poking out there. We'll trim it off in a little bit. And then you kind of start stretching and all that good stuff. You can use your chopstick or whatever you like to use. And I like to try to press on this side because it has all that fleece behind it and it's not going to pop through it. But you do want to be really careful in these corners. So you have a little thread that needs to be trimmed off right there. Patrice, how was dinner? Did you have salmon? I'll bet Patrice had salmon. And a dessert shot, like a little creme brulee in a little glass or something. She went to a restaurant where she did that one time. I was like, oh my gosh, that looks so good. When you live in a small town, you don't get a lot of great options. But Patrice, I am working hard tonight. 2 projects from start to finish. And I'm almost done. Got a little thread right there. Okay. We are going to use this little iron because I can control it better than the heat press that just comes down. You had salmon, didn't you? All right. Oh, you went to season 52. Yep, I've watched you eating there before. She's gone live from there before. It's not like I'm stalking her. Okay. Get my big old wool pressing mat out. Go look on Dime's website, see how expensive the little bitty one is. I wondered if I could get, because this was not much, $8.99 or something. If Tim has a really, really, really good sharp knife, I've seen some on Amazon that were even less than that, but they're still a little bigger than I want. If I could cut it really well, I would just cut it up. But you know, if it doesn't cut really well, it's going to drive me crazy. Okay, I'm trying to roll those seams just like we did earlier on that basket because I don't want to see the back from the front. I don't care if you see a little bit of the front on the back because it's going to be flat on the table. You've been watching Patrice. You're so sweet. Oh, Mylene, I wonder. I don't know. You have the same one, Elle, but I love this thing. I've only had it, I don't know how many months it's been. Time flies. Time's crazy. It flies. But it's been sometime this year that I got it. I was like, why did I wait so long to get one? It's just so much denser and firmer than like a Cricut mat that I was using. Yeah, I want to have a small one too. But we'll see. I did see one on Amazon. Okay, so we talked about earlier, one that I saw was a needle felting, whatever it's called, pad. But it looked like this. Does anybody in here do needle felting or whatever that is? And if so, is the pad that you use, however you use it to do it, the same as a wool pressing mat? Oh, quilt winch, that is smart. They are very handy. Yours has an iron mark too, Elba? There's mine. And then on the other side, one day, I was not thinking, and I pressed something that I had heat and bond on, and some heat and bond got on it. And I'll show you how I fixed it. It looks good now. When I did, I was like, you just ruined your mat, Marilyn. So then I was like, okay, so I'll cut down the good parts and have my tiny one that I want. There we go. Isn't she cute? She's just so sweet. Okay, I can see the back over here. You know I don't like that. It's not that big of a deal. Oh, yep. Okay, you may be silenced. Silence. Okay, one more side, and then I'm done. Done, done, done. Oh my gosh, I've been on here almost 3 hours. Yeah, Mylene, I wish they were. I can't believe I've been on here 3 hours. Okay, let's take a look here, and then I'll move. Then I'll show you on the front camera. See, I'm not sure yellow was the best choice for in there because it gets a little bit lost. But I swear I kept thinking about all the different combinations. Ooh, look at your hair, girl. Woo! You look like you've been hot. Okay. There it is. It's cute. Time flies when you're having fun. Thank you, Patricia. I like it too. I really do. Now let's see. Did it turn out bigger than the little pumpkin one did? It did. So the pumpkin one, which I made 4x4 friendly, is really a lot smaller. Look at the extra space of this one, which I think I maxed out. The widest stitch was 3.75 because somebody said that's what a 4x4 can do. So this one is a decent size. Well, definitely that fits on it. I have some sublimation coffee mugs over there, but I think it's going to be good. So if you're in the group, I will do a members post tonight, and I will put this in it. So I'll have DST. I don't remember all of them. PES, DST, HUS, and 3 more. So if you're a group member and you're like, hey, my file extension isn't in there, let me know. And if Embrilliance has it, I'll do it. But anyway, Vera, there's the little 4x4. Okay, a thicker, whoops. The sewing field of 4x4 is 3.94 by 3.94. Oh, so it's even bigger than what I thought. A thicker, often foam or wool pad designed to protect your work surface from sharp needles as you poke wool fiber. Okay, I get it now. I've never done that, whatever it's called. But I had a friend that did. She made some cute little things, but I don't see me getting into that. Okay, so we used that fusible fleece in here. We used Patrice. I know you weren't able to see really closely. Look how this one holds up. Look at the shape of that. I used fusible fleece and regular interfacing. Look at this one. Kind of limpy, wimpy. When we do them again, we got to do them with the fusible fleece. So I use fusible fleece in there. I use fusible fleece in here. And then if you have been following our little journey of doing quilt blocks, I wanted to show you the one with the pink on it because it's so cute. Anyway, it's the exact same fusible fleece that I've been using to make my design boards. Whoops. So it's pretty versatile. I use it a lot. All right, Dr. Anita Horn, thank you for coming in. Welcome, welcome. If you've been hanging out and watching, I appreciate you very much. I mean, it's okay to come in now too, but what I'm trying to say is for those of you that watch and don't interact, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thanks, Angel. Well, you're a member, so be watching for it because I'll post it tonight. Good life things. Thank you, Jesse. All right, I am heading off. Go spend a little bit of time with Tim before he hits the hay. You know me, I'm a late nighter, so you never know where you might see me out there on these YouTube streets late at night. Okay, so tomorrow night, Patrice is coming on, and I saw, or did she say? I either saw or she said she's going to go over her Pro Colored printer tomorrow night, talk about that, do some projects. Thanks, Addie. And then Saturday, when is he going on another trip? Oh, you mean Tim? He's not going anywhere without me for a while, I don't think. Bling Fest will be coming on that. I can't think of him. I don't think he's going on another trip for quite a while without me. Good night, Wanda. Now, if you do the Craft of Bling boxes, Patrice, is that this Saturday? Cindy, thank you. Good night, Danny. Craft of Bling box, I think, is this Saturday, and then Eve will be back on Sunday night, and, you know, we roll on along. Unbiased, she'll be on next, I got this wrong last week, Tuesday at 3:30 Central Time, and then Patrice comes on later that night. Angel will be on Monday. Tuesday I talked about, Delonda on Wednesday, and then back to me on Thursday. Patch Hat Crew, which Gail, who's in here, is in. You got your bling box, I got mine too. They come on, I think at 5 o'clock on Thursdays. I'm always getting ready for this, so I don't get to be in there very much, but I watch the replays. All right, I will see you guys probably tomorrow night in Patrice's chat. So until then, bye. Thanks for